That's exactly what I'm saying, because I think it makes a mockery of the women's game. If the focus on, now we just have to have people because of marketing and their attention, and they're not as talented, we're not putting the best.
This is especially true in women's basketball, where athletes constantly navigate a landscape shaped by societal expectations, media narratives, and the relentless pursuit of respect. At the heart of one such recent controversy is Caitlin Clark, a rising star in the Women's National Basketball Association, WNBA, whose meteoric rise has sparked both admiration and criticism. On our YouTube channel, we've been diving deep into this issue, unpacking the remarks made by a prominent sports commentator that stirred outrage and prompted a broader conversation about how female athletes are perceived and evaluated. This is more than just a story about one player. It's a reflection of the challenges facing women's sports and the power of media in shaping public perception.
All I gotta say is she's lucky this UConn team isn't healthy. And that's a true statement.
That's wrong, Molly.
Monica?
That's wrong, Molly. Molly,
like
it's
five
excuses.
top players,
It's
am I
excuses,
right?
Molly. It's
Major
excuses.
injury.
You would not be saying that if it...
The controversy began when a well-known sports host, whom we'll refer to as the commentator, to keep the focus on the issue rather than the individual, made remarks about Caitlin Clark that sent shockwaves through the basketball community. During a live broadcast, the commentator suggested that Clark's presence in the WNBA was more about marketing than merit, implying that her popularity was a mockery of the women's game. "We're not putting the best team out there," the commentator argued, asserting that players like Clark were selected for their ability to draw attention rather than their skill on the court. These comments didn't just raise eyebrows. They ignited a firestorm of backlash from fans, players, and analysts who saw them as not only unfair, but also deeply misinformed. To understand why these remarks struck such a nerve, we need to take a closer look at Caitlin Clark herself. A standout at the University of Iowa, Clark burst onto the national stage with a college career that was nothing short of extraordinary. Known for her long-range three-pointers, pinpoint passing, and uncanny basketball IQ, she led her team to multiple NCAA tournament appearances, shattered records, and earned accolades that placed her among the all-time greats in women's college basketball. Her transition to the WNBA was highly anticipated, with fans and analysts alike eager to see how her skills would translate to the professional level. Yet, despite her undeniable talent, Clark found herself at the center of a debate that questioned her legitimacy as a player.
Stars not playing.
Listen, excuse me,
Go.
it's her against Caitlin Clark.
Stephen A.
Ain't no excuses.
Stephen
You
A.
got there.
Wait a
No,
minute.
want to hear that now.
Stephen A.
Let me tell you, if
Paige
Georgetown
Becker-
get back in the mix, I'm going to be insufferable. I'm just telling you that now.
What?
If Paige
The commentator's remarks weren't just a critique of Clark. They were a reflection of a broader issue in sports media, the tendency to downplay the achievements of female athletes, particularly those who attract significant attention. By framing Clark's success as a marketing ploy, the commentator dismissed the years of hard work, dedication, and skill that had earned her a spot in the WNBA. This narrative wasn't just unfair to Clark, it was a disservice to the league as a whole, which has long struggled to gain the recognition it deserves. On our YouTube channel, we've been exploring how comments like these perpetuate harmful stereotypes and undermine the progress of women's sports. But before we dive deeper into the implications, let's take a step back and examine Caitlin Clark's journey to stardom. Caitlin Clark, a star in the making. Caitlin Clark's rise to prominence began long before she stepped foot on a WNBA court. Growing up in West Des Moines, Iowa, Clark was a basketball prodigy from a young age, displaying a rare combination of skill, determination, and charisma. Her high school career was marked by jaw-dropping performances, earning her national attention and a scholarship to the University of Iowa.
I'm excited for the girls that are on the team. I know it's the most competitive team in the world, and I know it could have gone either way, of me being on the team, me not being on the team, so, I'm excited for them.
It was in college, however, that Clark truly became a household name. At Iowa, Clark redefined what it meant to be a collegiate superstar. She averaged over 26 points per game during her freshman season, showcasing an ability to score from anywhere on the court. Her signature deep three-pointers, often launched from well beyond the arc, became a highlight reel staple, earning her comparisons to NBA sharpshooters like Stephen Curry. But Clark was more than just a scorer. Her vision and playmaking ability allowed her to create opportunities for her teammates, while her leadership on and off the court inspired those around her. By the time she declared for the WNBA draft, Clark had set numerous NCAA records, including the all-time scoring record for a single season, and had led Iowa to back-to-back Final Four appearances.
So, yeah, it'll be fun to watch them.
What was your level of disappointment not hearing your name on the roster?
Honestly, no disappointment. Like, I think it just gives you something to work for.
Clark's college success wasn't just about numbers, it was about impact. She brought unprecedented attention to women's college basketball, drawing millions of viewers to games that might otherwise have flown under the radar. Her rivalry with players like Paige Buchers of UConn and Angel Reese of LSU captivated audiences, turning women's basketball into must-watch television. This surge in popularity was a testament to Clark's ability to transcend the sport, appealing to casual fans and die-hard enthusiasts alike. Yet, despite her undeniable contributions, this disparity isn't due to a lack of quality. WNBA players are among the most skilled and competitive athletes in any sport, combining athleticism, strategy, and grit in a way that rivals any men's league. The WNBA has made significant strides in recent years with increasing viewership, better media coverage, and growing corporate sponsorships. But it still faces challenges that its male counterpart does not. Societal biases, limited marketing budgets, and inconsistent media coverage have all contributed to the WNBA's struggle for recognition. This is why players like Caitlin Clark, who can draw new fans and generate buzz, are so valuable to the league's growth. The commentator's critique: a misstep or a pattern? When the commentator suggested that Caitlin Clark's presence in the WNBA was a mockery of the women's game, she wasn't just targeting one player. She was perpetuating a narrative that has long plagued women's sports. The idea that a player's popularity is somehow at odds with their talent is a tired trope, one that disproportionately affects female athletes. Male athletes who attract attention, whether through their play or their personality, are often celebrated as larger-than-life figures.
It's a dream. Hopefully one day I can be there, and I think it's just a little more motivation. We remember that, and hopefully in 4 years, when 4 years comes back around,
Think of NBA stars like LeBron James or NFL quarterbacks like Patrick Mahomes, whose marketability is seen as a compliment to their skill, not a detractor. Yet for women like Clark, popularity is often framed as a liability, as though it somehow diminishes their legitimacy. The commentator's remarks also touched on a sensitive topic in the WNBA: the balance between talent and marketability. In a league that relies on viewership and sponsorships to survive, players who can draw crowds and boost ratings are invaluable. Caitlin Clark, with her massive college fan base and electrifying style of play, is exactly the kind of athlete the WNBA needs to elevate its profile. Her games consistently draw higher ratings, and her jerseys are among the league's top sellers. Yet, instead of celebrating her contributions, the commentator framed her success as a marketing gimmick, ignoring the fact that Clark's on-court performance has been nothing short of spectacular. Caitlin Clark's response: letting her game do the talking. There's one thing Caitlin Clark has proven throughout her career: it's that she doesn't let criticism define her. In the wake of the commentator's remarks, Clark remained focused on what she does best: playing basketball. Her rookie season with the Indiana Fever has been a masterclass in resilience and excellence. Despite the pressure of being one of the most hyped prospects in WNBA history, Clark has delivered performances that have silenced even her harshest critics. In games against top teams like the Chicago Sky and Los Angeles Sparks, Clark showcased the full range of her abilities. She recorded multiple triple-doubles, a rare feat for any player, let alone a rookie, and delivered game-winning shots that left fans in awe.
Want to vote for Angel Reese? Just be honest for the reason why you're voting for her. Caitlin Clark leads all rookies in pretty much every statistic except rebounding. And Angel Reese is a big...
Her stats tell the story. She leads all rookies in points, assists, and three-pointers made, while ranking among the league's top performers in several categories. More than that, Clark has elevated the play of her teammates, turning the Indiana Fever, a team that struggled in recent years, into a competitive force. Perhaps the most impressive aspect of Clark's rookie season is her ability to handle adversity with grace. When she was left off the Team USA roster for the Olympics, a decision that sparked its own wave of controversy, Clark didn't lash out or make excuses. Instead, she expressed support for the selected players and used the snub as motivation to improve. "It just gives you something to work for," she said in an interview. "Hopefully in 4 years I can be there." Her humility and maturity stood in stark contrast to the commentator's inflammatory remarks, earning her even more respect from fans and peers. The commentator's reversal, too little, too late? As Caitlin Clark continued to dominate on the court, the commentator's tune began to change. In a follow-up segment, she backtracked on her earlier statements, praising Clark as one of the best players in the WNBA. "I never doubted her talent," she claimed, a stark departure from her initial assertion that Clark was a marketing ploy.
And she should be beating most people in rebounds, but you escape the fact that she's collecting 2 or 3 of her own missed layups and hoarding those rebounds. Caitlin Clark has turnovers because her...
While it's commendable that the commentator eventually acknowledged Clark's abilities, her sudden reversal raised questions about her credibility. How could someone go from dismissing a player as a mockery to hailing her as a superstar in such a short time? This flip-flop is emblematic of a larger issue in sports media, the tendency to make bold, attention-grabbing statements without fully considering their impact. In the case of women's sports, where every word carries weight, such inconsistencies can be particularly damaging. When analysts make unfounded claims or change their opinions on a whim, it erodes trust in the media and makes it harder for fans to engage with the sport.
The ball. And yes, she does mismanage the ball at times, but people act like she's just giving the ball up every possession. Caitlin Clark affects the entire game. So if you're making a